love stories like this. We had a progressive wave. Now, we saw the outer bands of it coming in on June 23rd, but it's coming. More of it is coming. We saw the first signs of it on June 23rd, baby. So we had some huge progressive victories. A couple Tuesdays ago, June 23rd, man. You had Jamal Bowman. First and foremost, Jamal Bowman, that was a huge race up against Elliot Engel, received a good amount of press coverage as well. They were saying he's the next AOC, blah, 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 and it happened. It happened. He won by 25 points. He's a progressive champion, man, all the way down the list. Great progressive candidate down there. He beat Elliot Engel. He's a member of the foreign policy establishment, this hawk, endorsed by Hillary Clinton. Fraud, con, neoliberal piece of crap. Jamal Bowman ousted him by 25 points. AOC won her primary, 72 points. Won 72% of the vote, man. AOC up against a fundraising disadvantage down that race as well. Tremendous victory for her. You also had Mondaire Jones, either one of or the first openly gay black man to be elected to Congress. Tremendous victory down there in New York. You had Richie Torres as well up in New York, wearing a huge progressive victory. So, New York clean clocks. You had progressive candidates all across New York cleaning clocks. Tremendous, tremendous, tremendous. You had Marie Newman in a race not too long ago, a couple months back. She won her primary. You had Jessica Cisneros pushing Henry something. He's an establishment Democrat guy. She pushed him to the edge down in Texas. You had Charles Booker up against Amy McGrath in Kentucky. This was another huge race, received a lot of press coverage. That is the Senate race to go up against Mitch McConnell. And he pushed Amy McGrath to the edge. She outspent him by $20 million. But you had a volunteer army coming in. You had Sunrise coming in, placing hundreds of thousands of calls all across the state of Kentucky. They were able to slim the margins. And on election day, Charles Booker won overwhelmingly. But it was the absentee ballot advantage because of that money that pushed Amy McGrath over the edge. But it shows you what happens when we come together as a volunteer army, as a progressive army, as a donation army, as a small dollar army, as a progressive insurgency. And we put our heads together, we put our resources together, and we fight. That's what happens, man. So tremendous work. Again, Sunrise was a huge part of the Bowman victories. Booker's very close victory. Romanoff down there in Colorado ran a great campaign against Hickenlooper, the cereal box fart up down in there. Ran a great campaign against him. Sunrise is a big part of that as well. But also tremendous victories for other progressives in other congressional races that didn't receive as much coverage. So it's cause for celebration, man. You have definitely actually, because it's New York, you have 4 more insurgent progressive candidates going to be coming into the Congress moving forward. But this is what I want to be talking about, man. This is a lesson as well, because Sunrise was talking about this earlier. In the races that we lost, and I'll take Charles Booker, main example. This is a talented politician. Charles Booker is the future. This guy, his slogan was from the hood to the holler. He was uniting poor black people and poor white people, Trump voters and Biden voters and whoever black people vote for. He was uniting the ghetto and the slums, trailer parks of Eastern Kentucky. He was uniting all of them together in this progressive coalition and bringing them out to the polls. That's how talented of a politician Charles Booker was. Fiery black man with some goddamn political talent. He was down there at the Louisville protest for Breonna Taylor. He was showing his support down there. Charles Booker is the real deal. He's an inspirational. He's a talented politician. Obama with backbone. That's what I like to call him. Obama with some goddamn backbone. You know what I'm saying? And instead of pouring all of our resources into those races, right? You did have Bernie endorsed. You had AOC endorsed. I think Elizabeth Warren endorsed. That was huge. But instead of pouring all of our resources, a volunteer army into these races, Justice Democrats, Sunrise, PCCC, Brand New Congress, all these organizations coming in and pouring every ounce that they have into this race. Instead, many organizations neglected that race. This is the problem. We had some great victories. And even with us neglecting some of these races, we still had huge victories. But this is the problem. We have to come together as a political force. The progressive left has to become, as I've said time and time again, a political force. You have to have some version of unity, some version of coordinated action across organizations. We can't just be this hodgepodge of organizations. We have to be an army that pours resources in a coordinated effort into races that we know are winnable. Booker's race was winnable. That is a talented politician, and he pushed her within 2 or 3 points. being outspent by $20 million. That shows you how close we got. And if we poured more into that race, could have won overwhelmingly. So that's another huge learning experience. The window has shifted. This is now the time for progressives to take advantage. You're talking about COVID-19, a pandemic, economic depression, planet still dying, jobs being lost, eviction crisis. People are scared. People are desperate. They see that we need a UBI. They see we need a Green New Deal. They see we need Medicare for all, but they need a voice. They need a unified force that they can plug right into and see real change. So that's what we have to represent. That's what we have to be moving towards moving forward. So I'm imploring, and I'm going to tell Sunrise this, whoever can goddamn listen, and I hope y'all start screaming this too. We have to be united. We have to call on these organizations to endorse, to pour their volunteer army, to pour in their donation army, the small dollar army, the progressive army, and whatever race is winnable, wherever we can pick apart victories. You know what I'm saying? We have to become a political force. This can't just be some hodgepodge fringe, the fringe left, the radical left. No, that's not who we are. We are the majority position. And it's time for us to start acting like it because we have real political power if we choose to utilize it. So tremendous victories, cause for celebration, but also cause for learning. You know what I'm saying? The lesson out of this is it's time to unite. It's time to get serious because this is the time to capitalize, y'all. So that's the last story of the day, man. I had a pleasure, man. It was fun doing this hour-long segment with y'all. Till next time, man, it's been your boy. Tune in next Wednesday. And not next Wednesday. What the fuck? Tune in this Wednesday and this Friday. Got one more good quality content, man. Hit a brother up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm on there. YouTube as well. Make sure you like and subscribe down below. Till next time, it's been your boy, Drake. Enjoy.
Yeah, we riding. Yeah, you